Hey, it's Brett and Coach here, and today I am at Double Clutch Brewing up in Evanston, Illinois to see what they have on draft and just see what the vibes of the taproom are like. And keep watching to see what made me say this. Big tanks. Big tanks for sure. We already put our first drink order in, so we're looking forward to that. So a taste test is up next. To start off, I went with the Shandy pants. Gotta be careful on that. Which is a summer shandy coming in at 4.6%. It has a mix of lemon, grapefruit, and lime. It definitely has a strong grapefruit flavor. I wish it was a little bit more fruity and a little bit more sweeter than on the bitter side, so I'd probably give this a 6.5. Overall, pretty drinkable and would be great on a patio. This is the Lowrider Session IPA. It comes in at 4.8% ABV and says it uses West Coast hops. Very clean, drinks pretty easily. Not huge on flavor, I'd probably give it a 5.5, but still decent. Double Clutch brews everything on site. You can actually even see the tanks, and they say they want to keep beer fun and innovative, so that's their general style for what they have. And they have multiple tanks. 2 of them are 930 gallons, and I can see at least 3 of them that are 465 gallons, so big tanks. Big tanks for sure. And the name of the brewery comes from, obviously, manual cars. I do not know how to drive stick. To be honest, I haven't been behind the wheel in like 6 or 7 years at this point. I live in Chicago, why do I need a car? They do have that racing car. I know nothing about cars either. Doing real great, aren't I? But that is a big feature of the brewery, is these interesting and classic cars. And as you can see, their handles are actually gear shifters for all their beer. Besides just all of the beers on tap, they also have cocktails, some ciders and wine, as well as a limited liquor selection if beer isn't what you're looking for. They do have a few award-winning beers as well, so it shows that they know what they're doing. Also, it is super busy here just because their side room, they have an event. We think it's a wedding, so they have about half the space they normally do. So there was about a 20-minute wait that we had when it came to getting a seat. They don't take any reservations online, but you can come to the location and put your name on the list. Double Clutch opened in October of 2021, but it was actually planned to open Memorial Day of 2020, but since the pandemic really slowed down shipping, their tanks to brew beer were actually stuck in China. They were actually manufactured in 2019, couldn't get shipped out until early 2021, and then they got it up and running. Unfortunately, they don't distribute their beer just because they focused on getting a brew pub and wanted to get the food side up and running, and just don't have the manpower unless they went through a third-party distributor, and that's just not their intention right now. But if you are in the brew pub, you can buy it to go. And we also ordered some fries. They call these sidewinders. So let's give these a taste. I can already tell they're really hot, so no pun intended, but this is a classic twist of a fry. Pretty solid, nice and crispy, soft inside. I'm happy with them. Something to snack on while I enjoy the beer. For $50 annually to join the club, that is actually a surprisingly good deal. One down, let's order another one. I tried to order the Alt beer just because it was based off beer from Dusseldorf. Go watch that video of my questionable experience in the Dusseldorf airport, but unfortunately they were out, so I went with Lizzie's Special Red Ale, which is probably the closest thing to the Alt beer on the menu. And this is Lizzie's Special Red Ale coming in at 5.1%, and it's actually their beer that they brewed for St. Patrick's Day, so it definitely has some Irish roots. Very drinkable. It's not super heavy, but it has still a rich flavor. I enjoy this a good amount. It allows you to have the ability to drink 1 or 2 of them after this one. I'd probably give this a 7, my favorite so far. And this is Little Juice Coupe coming in at 6.4% ABV. It uses Mosaic, Citra, and Azeka hops. I really enjoy this. It almost has an orange juice quality to it. It's thick in a good way. It's not overly bitter. I'd probably give this an 8, and I think it just overtook the red ale. Brian is either gonna love this or hate this. So let's check in with Brian now that he had a taste of it, and we'll see if he'll give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So Brian? 2 thumbs up is a win in his book. They also really lean into the car aesthetic here, between it actually being in a garage. I believe these open up in the summer to get a nice cross breeze, but also the employee uniforms are mechanic shirts, so that's kind of an interesting take on beer. I appreciate when a concept is really fleshed out like this. I would like to say I'm not purposely double fisting. I ordered my drink like normal. It came here. We were waiting for Brian's drink because he was finishing his previous drink, and I just wanted to do both taste tests at once. She walks up to us holding Brian's beer and another beer, and the waitress goes, "I have some good news and I have some bad news." And Brian and I are like, "Okay, what's going on?" She's like, "The beer I first gave you, they poured the wrong beer, so this is a Pilsner." And then she handed me the Kolsch. So now I have 2 beers to drink, even though we said this was gonna be our final round. Hey, anything free beer, I'm not gonna complain. Didn't even take a drink out of it. Without further ado, let's end this video with our triple taste test. Looking at the menu, if I drank this as the Kolsch, I don't think it would have been good. As a Pilsner, I'd probably give it a 6.5. Like, it's solid, easy to drink, pretty light. I don't mind it. As a Kolsch, no. It's nothing to write home about, but if someone handed it to me, happily would drink it. Now, actually the Kolsch, coming in at 4.6%, and it says it reminds them of Riesling wine from Germany. Not quite sure how that works out, just because Riesling's a fairly sweet wine compared to a beer. Has a little bit more of a Kolsch smell, or at least I'm gonna claim that it does, and that I can tell the difference. I think my silence speaks some volumes. It's kind of thin, it's kind of watery. It doesn't have a huge alcohol flavor or any flavor notes. Chuggable, extremely. I would give that a 9 out of 10. Flavor-wise, probably a 4. So that evens to about a 6, 6.5. And then this is the Smooth Alternator Doppelbock, coming in at 8.2%. So we will see how this goes compared to the other two. But they base this off of the beers that the monks made in Bavaria to get through Lent, which they do describe it as liquid bread. So you gotta drink your calories. This is bordering in almost into stout territory. It's really thick compared to everything else that we've drank tonight. It took 13 weeks of conditioning to get to this smooth, easy drinking flavor, but still packing a punch. I would give this an 8 for sure. Here's a full breakdown of what we paid. For 2 of us, 65 isn't bad considering how many beers we got, plus fries. And I think that actually concludes my tasting here tonight. Don't forget to comment down below what your favorite type of beer is, and if you've ever been here, hit the subscribe button while you're down there, also the like button. And this has been Brett and Coach, and I will see you next time in Coach.